Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Look, as someone who watches the tech landscape day in and day out, I gotta tell you, we are literally standing on the precipice of a massive shift in the mobile user experience. For well over a decade now, our smartphones have essentially operated the exact same way, right? You tap a static icon, open an app, and do your work. But artificial intelligence, it is completely ripping up that playbook. So today, we're analyzing the ultimate tech showdown. We're diving into the OS wars, specifically looking at how Apple and Google are strategically tackling the integration of AI into the very fabric of their operating systems. Here's our roadmap for This Explainer. First, the mobile AI race. 2, Google's ecosystem lock-in. 3, the generative interface revolution. 4, Apple's native integration hurdles. And finally, future platform longevity tension. Okay, let's kick things off with a highly debated scenario that industry analysts like myself are watching incredibly closely. It is widely rumored that Apple is partnering with Google to use their Gemini AI model to power the next generation of Siri on the iPhone. But here's the hook. If you ask an AI to prepare you for a meeting, pull your latest data and create an itinerary 20 minutes before it starts, and it works perfectly, do you really care if there's an Apple logo or a Google logo powering it? If both giants are utilizing the exact same core engine, who actually wins? Well, the answer lies not just in the AI model itself, but in the operating system it lives inside. Section 1. The mobile AI race. Let's look at platform divergence. This right here brilliantly illustrates the core difference between the two. Google's entire paradigm is built around a services and cloud ecosystem. When Google demos some amazing AI task, it basically assumes your inbox is Gmail, your documents are in Google Drive, and your schedule is in Google Calendar. Apple's paradigm, on the other hand, is intensely focused on the local device and native apps. Apple wants the AI to read data that is physically stored on your phone, passing it through localized apps regardless of who the cloud provider is. This structural difference, it dictates absolutely everything about how AI will function on your phone moving forward. Section 2. Google's ecosystem lock-in. What it means to live inside the walls. Google is currently rolling out tools that aggressively reward you for going all in on their software. They've announced highly efficient models like Gemini Flash 3.5 and, perhaps more importantly, agentic tools like Spark. We are talking about AI agents that don't just answer questions, but actually take independent actions. Imagine an agentic Chrome that automatically fills out complex weekly forms for you, or an AI that spins up a cloud instance to complete a heavy background task while your laptop is literally closed, later pinging the finished result directly to a widget on your phone. But, and this is a big but, to get that seamless cross-device magic, you need deep hooks into their specific services. As industry watchers have noted, Google is making a massive ecosystem play here. They're heavily incentivizing users to be, and you kind of have to appreciate the phrasing here, living la vida Google. The more you use Google Workspace, the smarter and more automated your life becomes. This strategy creates a very powerful but highly closed ecosystem. It disproportionately benefits heavy Google users and essentially leaves third-party app users out in the cold. It's an incredibly smart way to ensure user retention. Section 3. The generative interface revolution. Moving way beyond simple text chat. So the crucial concept to grasp here is generative user interfaces. Imagine you ask your AI for a tool to help you study physics. Instead of just giving you a block of text explaining it, the AI actually builds a custom interactive desktop widget, complete with sliders and functional buttons, specifically tailored for that one task right there on the fly. This fundamentally changes the standard mobile experience. We are transitioning from an era where we open rigid, pre-built apps to a wild new era where the operating system generates custom apps and interfaces in real time based purely on what we need in that exact moment. To understand why this shift is so necessary, just look at how we currently try to automate our phones. As one developer famously put it, "This is the worst freaking language ever to exist, it's awful." You can literally feel the deep frustration with Apple's current shortcuts interface in that quote. Right now, if you want your iPhone to automate a multi-step task, you have to manually piece together complex logic in a highly restrictive visual programming language that doesn't even compile down to standard code. It's super frustrating for developers and pretty much impossible for average users. This friction is exactly why AI-generated interfaces and automations are so desperately needed. And that brings us to the rumored workflow for the next major iteration of iOS. Instead of fighting with a clunky interface, the user will simply describe what they want to Siri, like, "Hey, summarize this PDF and email it to my boss." The system will interpret that text prompt, automatically write the underlying code, and then build and install the customized shortcut directly onto the device. The AI takes the massive burden of coding and interface building entirely off your shoulders. Section 4. Apple's native integration hurdles. The challenge of connecting AI to iOS. Now, we have to remember that Apple's rumored partnership with Google is not at all like buying a shrink-wrapped CD that you just pop into a computer and it works out of the box. No, they are licensing a foundation engine. Google supplies the raw intelligence model, sure, but Apple has to meticulously build all of the complex plumbing required to securely connect that model to the iPhone's local apps, your localized contacts, and your highly personal data. Because of this, Apple's vision for how AI is implemented in iOS is going to look vastly different from how Google implements it in Android. And this raises a really fascinating question regarding the tension between the two companies. As one analyst perfectly metaphorized, will Apple benefit from the absolute cutting edge of Google's research, or are they essentially buying the 4-cylinder grocery getter engine, while Google reserves the 12-cylinder supercharged aircraft engine exclusively for their own Pixel phones and Google services? When your biggest rival is also your supplier, there's always a lingering question of who gets the absolute best technology. Furthermore, Apple has massive internal ecosystem friction points to overcome. Think about it. For years, Apple's strict App Store rules have explicitly banned apps that generate unapproved code, which is exactly what an AI generating custom widgets does. Then they face the massive technical challenge of securely allowing a cloud-based AI to scan highly localized, on-device mail and calendar data, all without violating Apple's legendary privacy standards. And finally, there's the timeline lag. When Google updates Gemini, how long does it take for Apple to safely integrate that update into iOS? These are massive, massive structural bottlenecks. Section 5. Future Platform Longevity Tension, the long-term strategic game. Let's put our analyst hats on and break down the strategic advantages here. Google has high cloud integration, allowing their AI to access your data instantly across the web. Their lock-in relies on services. If you use Gmail, you are in. And because they build both the AI and the services, their implementation speed is blazingly fast. Apple, conversely, demands strict local data isolation for privacy. Their lock-in is the physical hardware and native apps. But because they have to build custom, highly secure bridges between third-party AI models and native iOS code, their implementation speed is inherently slower. They are basically trading raw speed for local control and privacy. Which leaves us with this final, incredibly provocative thought. Can Apple truly maintain its operating system dominance over the next decade if it is fundamentally relying on its biggest rival's engine to power its intelligence? If the future of mobile interfaces is dynamic, AI-generated, and deeply tied to cloud services, Apple has a massive engineering mountain to climb to keep you safely inside their walled garden. What do you think? I really hope this explainer has given you a fresh lens through which to view the coming AI updates on your devices. Keep paying attention to the plumbing beneath the surface, because honestly, that is where the real war is won. Thanks for learning with me.